the work permit. And so in my case, it wasn't possible. So they gave me a green card. They call it, I didn't know, German ID green card. So I used that, but then unfortunately, I think with that one, you have to be paid, I think, a bigger sum of money. I mean, with respect to your salary. So the company is a small company. They couldn't handle that. So that was the reason why I had to go. But then I was very interested also to go back. But then, for us, often the issue is, what are you going to do in your country? You have to have an aim, something that will give the drive to go back and do. So while I was working there too, I was thinking of how to, help my country to also develop, like developed countries like Germany. So whilst I was thinking of it, this company also came up. Initially, before coming here, I was just about to work there. So when they called and we were talking, it came up that there was this project that they were doing, and there were 3 consultants. And you can see here, we have Zone 2, Brown Upper Region, Upper East, and Upper West. And the other consultants were also in different zones. And they were lacking GIS specialists. So for this company, they were almost lagging, and the government was on them when they go for presentations. They weren't making headway. So when they talked about it to me, I said, okay, then I'll take it as a challenge, and I think it's a step further for me if I'm to go to my country. So I took the step, and it was quite challenging, but eventually I think all that I learned here paid off. From GIS, photogrammetry, and all the others paid off. So I used all that I had, and then I was able to implement this project and then be successful. So from there, what they did actually was that if I was able to do that, then the term that I want to have with respect to emoluments and remuneration, they could do that. So it paid off. So those of us in the developing countries who are here and are learning, it's quite difficult, but if you take the challenge and go back, I'm very sure that you will make it. The second one is the provision of digital. I think this one, I've presented it yesterday, so I'll skip that. And then the third one I want to talk about is the Bui City project. This is a very big project, about $400 million, being sponsored by the Chinese government and the Ghana government. What we are doing there, and with respect to Rudan, is that we are doing some 3 components. Cadastral mapping, which is about almost 200 kilometers of survey. And then after that, we have to do aerial photography. And then thirdly, we have to do parceling. So it's still ongoing. And then lastly, I also had an experience, as I told earlier in my background, that I got the opportunity to also lecture. It was very challenging because I think this was my very first, should I say, official lecturing to do. And I remember contacting some of my professors being here to help me put together the notes. It was very short. When I got the offer, within a week I was to deliver the slides or the lecture notes for approval before I could lecture. So basically it was about IT infrastructure and strategy. And the components are an introduction to IT infrastructure, strategy, implementation, as well as examination guide. And then developing IT infrastructure, IT industry, talk about industrial IT systems, investment decisions, organization issues, and the rest. So let me quickly go to conclusion. What I think are conclusions and recommendations. Firstly, as I've already talked about, 3 projects were shared from all these institutions. Secondly, experiences that are professional, that the professional gathers in a foreign land or environment other than what he or she is already comfortable with cannot be underestimated and must be encouraged, especially considering the so-called globalization. For students in Stuttgart, University of Applied Sciences, should be encouraged to undertake master theses in firms. In my view, but I think it helps a lot. This could contribute immensely to enrich alumni portfolio, and especially professionals from developing countries where state-of-the-art systems are minimal. Likewise, students from developed countries can go to developing countries, because being in Rudan, I've been able to supervise about 2 students from Germany who came there for attachment, and they were very, very happy. I think the 5 have not talked about it. It's very important for students to clearly define career goals and aspirations, preferably with guidance from a lecturer beyond the campus life. This gives a profound commitment on the side of the student, as well as sense of satisfaction on the side of the lecturer for helping the student to achieve most of the goals and aspirations, if not all. It's unfortunate. 6, knowledge acquisition alone might not be enough unless one develops the courage and ability to utilize the knowledge. So, what I want to say is that whatever we are learning or sharing here, if we don't develop the courage to go out there and implement these ideas, to me, it might not be enough. Supervisors should endeavor to guide and encourage MSc students to write papers, or possibly include them in some of the papers they write and publish. And I think this is already being done. I've seen some students also presenting papers. This becomes very important when students want to go into research and even further their education to the PhD level. So, thank you very much.
Yeah, are there any questions? His presentation. No questions at all. Or any hungry
Just one answer last suggestion I heard was very practiced since yesterday morning and this morning, that we engaged 4 students giving presentations here. Some guidance, of course, but since they are involved in this, let me say, this kind of academic exchange of findings and academic work.
Yes, with that, even I want to say that I remember my master thesis in the Geoinformatics. I remember being encouraged by Professor Baer to compete internationally, and then I got a scholarship on that. So I think some of them at times, even I was ignorant, you know. We don't at times as students see those benefits beyond graduation. So, and I'm very sure that you professors know all these things. So if you push us, then eventually when we get to know, we have already, gotten to a place, and then it becomes very easier for us.
Also, additional funding possible, at least for the DART scholarship for attending conferences. Maybe it's not so well known, but yeah, maybe we should promote it a little bit more. That's right. Any other questions? So now we have then 2 options. I have to look at the course director. We have the option to shift the last presentation to the late afternoon at 5 o'clock. Because I think the workshops one of the workshops at least has to start in time.
Let me check one thing.